Shiny hunting the starters in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire is one of the most popular shiny hunts you can do, and then you have Pokemon Emerald. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you already know about Pokemon Emerald's broken RNG, but to explain it really quick, every time you make a save file, you're given a seed which pretty much determines your RNG, and that seed never changes, meaning every time you boot up or you reset your game, you'll have the same RNG. If you don't really understand how it works and you want to learn more, I'll leave a link to these videos in the description. They'll tell you pretty much everything you need to know about Emerald's broken RNG mechanics. Since the RNG is broken in this game, how am I gonna shiny hunt for a starter? Because technically it's almost impossible to shiny hunt through soft resetting in Pokemon Emerald. Luckily for us, there are a few workarounds for this. Because you pick your starters at the beginning of the game, we can just keep making save files over and over again to get new frames until eventually we find the shiny, so it makes soft resetting possible for a starter. Now, there are two big questions you might be asking me. Why hunt it in Emerald? Why not just hunt it in Ruby and Sapphire where it's quicker and you don't have to worry about the broken RNG? The simple answer to that is I don't want to. I've hunted the Hoenn starters 4 times already, and I've also gotten 4 uncatchable Poochyenas, so I've done this hunt a lot, so if I'm hunting the starter for a 5th time, it's gotta be at least a little bit different. With those 2 questions out of the way, it's time to set up the hunt. I chose to hunt Mudkip because it's my favorite of the trio, but down the road I do plan to do the other 2, so it isn't really that big of a deal, but for this video, I went for Mudkip. I also chose to double hunt this on one copy of Japanese Emerald and another on an English copy. This is where the hunt becomes unique and separates from Ruby and Sapphire. As explained before, I have to make a new save file to avoid hitting the same frames over and over again. So with that, I need to maximize how many resets I can actually get in before having to make a new save file. This is where you can get kind of creative with how you vary your resets. Like for example, some people would use a stopwatch to time when they actually pick their starter. For me, I did a couple things to time my resets. The first thing I did was I used the location dropdown on the top left to time when I go into choosing my starter. With 2 games, I would do 20 resets just spamming the A button and picking Mudkip, then another 20 when the location is just dropping down. I would do a 3rd set of 20 right when it drops down fully, the 4th set right before it drops back down, the 5th set as it's dropping back down, and the final 6th set when the location dropdown disappears. Confusing, but it worked for me. The other thing I did to add variation is I'd cycle through the yes and no options before picking my starter just to really make sure. But with this strategy, I could get about 120 resets in or 60 per save file. So in total with all this, I was able to get about 240 soft resets an hour. Once again, how you vary your resets is completely up to you and you can literally do it however you want. Oh no. Oh no. What do I do? This is exactly what I didn't want to happen. It's cold. It's sick. But what do I do? Do I just go on? Or do I just get the starter? Because I have an early shiny frame. That's one thing I haven't mentioned yet. Just like Ruby and Sapphire, the uncatchable Zigzagoon can be shiny as well. But this is where it gets really interesting. Normally, if you get an uncatchable Poochyenna, you can't really do anything, you just move on and yeah. With Emeralds, finding a shiny uncatchable Zigzagoon is technically a good thing, since because of the broken RNG, it means you have an early shiny frame. The reason I reacted the way I did when I saw the Zigzagoon is because I genuinely didn't know what to do. Yes, it means I have the early shiny frame, and I can use that to get shiny Mudkip, but doing that also turns the hunt into a shiny frame hunt rather than just a shiny hunt. 2,544 is the resets it took to get the shiny frame, I guess. What can I guess I'll just try to get the Mudkip, which could take God knows how long. There it is. My fucking go. Shiny Mudkip, man. This is one of the reasons why the hunt is so unique. There's no wrong choice. If you get the shiny Zigzagoon, you're free to continue as if it was a shiny Poochyena and there's nothing you can do, or you can use that frame to get your shiny starter. Now you can argue that I did use a little bit of RNG manipulation to find the Mudkip, which is technically true, but to be honest, I don't really care. I hunted for it, so like, and there goes Zigzagoon. Alright, and that Mudkip is now mine, so don't want to give a nickname? Hell yeah. Pessy. We got Pessy. So my nature guess is penalty. It's bold. I don't know what that does. This hunt is really fun. To be honest, I had a lot of fun doing this hunt. The annoying thing is like that thought in the back of your head that you're constantly just hitting the same frame over and over again, but there's our Pessy. I want to do the trio in Emerald. I think that'd be really cool, like to complete the line. Hell yeah. It took in total 2,544 soft resets and 44 different save files to find the shiny, and with 240 resets an hour, it only took about 10 hours to find it, which is really quick. Now with this hunt done, what's next? While this project was relatively short, I am working on a few longer shiny hunts that will take a lot longer to finish, but I do like to post my shinies on Twitter or Blue Sky when I get them, so if you're interested in seeing what I'm working on, you can go check me out over there. With that, that's the end of the video. This is my first time making one of these styled videos, so I'd really like to know how I did and how I can improve, because despite my last video being 2 years ago, I am planning to be a lot more active. But with shiny hunting content, it's all dependent on when you find your shiny or shinies, so it can take months or literally years before you have more content to put out. But with that said,